Hey, thanks for joining me. So, working with a camera today that's one I've wanted for a long time. Really since way before digital, I kind of wanted one of these. This is a Kowa Six. It is a 6x6 centimeter 120 film, single lens reflex with leaf shutter lenses. These were made back in the 60s by the Kowa Corporation. My dad had one when I was a kid. He tried it out for a while. He really liked the camera, produced great images, but the square format for the commercial work that he did just really wasn't that great of a fit. He needed something that was going to create a rectangular negative because he was mainly printing 8x10s and 11x14s, and, rectangular format images. So, but I got to use the camera a few times when I was a kid, and I really kind of fell in love with it. And so recently I ran across this one. It needed a complete CLA on the body and the lens. Needed a lot of work, but because of that, I was able to get it really inexpensively. Now, the Kowa Corporation made these starting in 1968. I think they had a 5 or 6 year run, and that was succeeded by a couple of different models. There's the Kowa 6 MM, which added a couple of features, and then the Super 66, which had interchangeable film backs. This does not have interchangeable film backs or magazines. You load it in a fashion very similar to a twin lens reflex. So the Kowa Corporation has been around since like 1894. They've been involved in everything from textiles to electronics to optics and cameras, and they still make a line of spotting scopes and binoculars, and even make a line of lenses called Promenar lenses for micro four thirds cameras. And they're fairly high-end lenses, and Kowa's always been known for really great equipment in terms of the quality and the optics and that sort of thing. So the Kowa 6 was dubbed by some to be the poor man's Hasselblad, or maybe the Japanese Hasselblad, depending on who you asked. And in some ways, there's some similarities. It's a 2 1/4 square SLR. It's got leaf shutter lenses. It's got interchangeable viewfinders, but it's kind of where the similarities end. But the camera does have a lot of really great features. There was a wide range of lenses from, I think, 19 millimeter wide on out to 500 millimeter long. And some of those extreme lenses are a little hard to find today. The 55 wide, the 85 normal, and the 150 telephoto are pretty easy to find on eBay and not too expensive, really. There's even a 110 millimeter macro lens that I'm now kind of interested in, having found one of these. So, in a lot of ways, this is, it's not anything extraordinary. It's a 2 1/4 SLR. It's a relatively heavy camera. Has interchangeable viewfinders. There's a button you push here on the side, and the viewfinder slides off the front. And then you can interchange the focusing screen and the viewfinders. They made 90-degree prisms. They made 45-degree prisms. They made waist level finders. They made a number of different finders for it. And like I said, the film loads a lot like a twin lens. So you turn the key here to open the back, and it opens up. Your supply side film would go here, this empty one here that I just finished a roll of film. And then, you would obviously move this empty spool up here and then put your new spool down here, new roll of film, and bring it up. There's a red dot here that you line the film, the arrow on the film up with. So you load it a lot like, say, a Yashica mat or a Rolleicord. Rolleiflex is different. Rolleicord. You can actually see there's some stickers in here where this has been in for repair a couple times over the years. One of them is dated April of '79, and the other one doesn't have a date. But it will shoot both 120 and 220 film. Unfortunately, 220 film is no longer available, but there's a switch here where you can switch between the two. It has a knob wind, and when you wind it, it lowers the mirror and cocks the shutter. When you fire it, the mirror goes up, the shutter closes, and then it fires, for the exposure. And it's not a quiet camera, so... I know with my Rolleiflexes or Rolleicords, there's times I take a picture and I can't even hear it, and you really can't hardly even feel it. It's so quiet. Like, did Did it work? Did I take a picture? This thing, you know, when you took a picture. Got a really nice bright viewfinder though. The waist level has a magnifier that pops up. It, you know, it's a pretty easy to use camera. They do make a grip for it that attaches on the side here on this rail. I think I'm going to order one. Made a couple different grips for it. And so I went out and shot a couple of test rolls with it. Images are really sharp and contrasty. I'm really liking this lens. So the 85mm lens that this comes with is a 5-element in 4-group design that is based on the Schneider Xenatar or Xenatar formula. It's known for being really sharp and contrasty, really good image quality. These lenses use Seiko leaf shutters like the Mamiya cameras do. Good thing is a lot of those parts, you know, if you needed a mainspring for a shutter or some other parts for a shutter, there's enough Mamiya cameras out there that, you know, a part could be found. Your flash sync is right here. And being a leaf shutter camera, this will sync electronic flash at any speed. There's a stop down lever here if you want to check your depth of field. In the viewfinder, there's a switch down here where you can switch between flash bulbs and electronic flash, and there's you know, just a lot of neat features to this. The lens mount is really kind of similar to a like an RB67. So you have a little lever right here. You pull back and you rotate this outer ring, and then the lens, you have to wind the camera first. The camera's got to be wound. And then you can take the ring around, the lens comes off. The lens has 2 pins on the back of it, which if you've used an RB67 is very similar to the way an RB67 works. And I'm not sure which design came first, but this is real similar in terms of the way it operates. So anyway, let's take a look at some of these images from this camera. I think you'll find that they're, you know, the camera's definitely got the image quality you'd need to do some serious work. And we'll catch up with you after we look at these pictures. Okay, let's take a look at these pictures. So I went down to the stockyards in Oklahoma City. First picture of a place called Shorty's Cowboy Hattery. He's been making and reshaping and fixing cowboy hats, selling cowboy hats for a long, long time. Many years ago, I was in a Western reenactment group, and he shaped a couple of cowboy hats for me for that. But he's got a new building now, and it's looked pretty nice. A lot of contrast in this image. It was a bright, sunny morning, and I think that really shows in the image, and that the image and the lens delivers this just a lot of contrast. This is Kent Mirror 100, not necessarily a very contrasty film. It was developed in HC 110 dilution B, so it's nothing really extraordinary there. But the lens definitely has the contrast. And typical of medium format, it has that kind of separation of subject and background. Even though the background's not blurry, there seems to almost be that dimensionality that allows you to separate the subject from the background. Okay, let's take a look at the next image. This is again down Stockyards, Little Joe's Boots. You know, just taking some pictures of some of the buildings there. It's just a neat part of town. Again, lots of contrast in the image. I think if I was to do this again, you know, finding a morning where we had some cloudiness would be helpful. But even with the sun, and you can see the shadows in the building, the sun, it's summertime, so the sun's a little bit north of the building. It still makes for a really contrasty image. This lens definitely can deliver the goods in terms of sharpness, in terms of contrast. It really is doing a good job. Okay, this is one of my favorites. This is down in Stockyards. This is actually a public library. Little bitty place. I'm not sure how long it's been a public library, or if that was always the use of this building, but I just love the style of this building. And it's really cool, the fact that you can actually go in there and check out some books and
and it's a library. Anyway, again, you can see the shadows on the roof. It's morning time, bright and sunny, no clouds, and again, lots of contrast. The um, the Kentmere 100 seems to do well with the contrast. Even the shadows don't get blocked up or anything. But this lens can definitely hold its own under contrasty conditions. Right. This is not in stockyards. When I was 16, I went to work for this company called Perkins Fence Company, and this is not the front of Perkins Fence Company. They had a much nicer building, but kind of in the back, they have this shed. And as you can see, it's cinder block building. It's got a couple of wings that are just, sheet metal. And but this building was the shop that I worked in for Perkins Fence Company. So when we weren't in the shop, working on building ornamental iron or other fence stuff, we would be out in the field digging post holes and putting up fences. And that was my first job when I was 16. And this property has come up for sale, and I noticed that the other day, so I pulled into the parking lot and snapped a picture of this building because it just means a lot to me. But you can again see bright sunny morning, lots of contrast in the image, um, plenty of detail. Lens is nice and sharp. It's got that typical medium format look that that so many people really love for just that size negative. Okay, I went to a week later. I went to the Capitol. In Oklahoma, our state capitol has oil wells on the Capitol grounds. Now that derrick you see right in front of the Capitol is not actually pumping oil anymore, but there are other wells and derricks on the property that are still pumping oil, and that's just part of Oklahoma and our history. Anyway, so there's in the parking lot there's kind of a grassy knoll where you can get up on top of it, elevates you just a tiny bit, and snap this. I took another picture, basically the same thing with a 25A red filter, and which that really helped the contrast of the building nicely and the sky. Um, Again, just really beautiful image quality. These Kowa lenses have always been known for exceptionally good image quality, and this one is no exception. Okay, closer to the Capitol, and I was just trying to see how it would handle this is a bronze statue. It's very dark. I was wanting to see kind of how it would handle it. We had clouds kind of moving in and out. You can see some clouds in the sky. So there were periods where we had, it was cloudy bright. Some periods were a little more overcast. Most of these were shot at f5.6 or f8. Um, and so I think there's one towards the end I'll tell you about. I shot it at 2.8 just to see how it would do. But certainly stopped down to 5.6 or 8. This lens has no problem holding its own. Okay, the front of the Capitol closer. And again, I did this because I just wanted to see the detail in the building. And if you zoom in a little bit on this, this is 100%. You've got some really good detail on all these columns. Um, the lens just really is able to really hold its own. I am really impressed with the quality of the optics in this, and sometime I guess we'll have to do a side-by-side comparison with my Rolleiflex, but this does a really beautiful job. So this is the one I shot that is at f2.8. I focused on the statue, the man on the statue, and you can see the background then is kind of blurry. The sun's actually coming from the right, so this subject is in shade quite a bit, but definitely has that medium format kind of separation that is so, what medium format is so good for. Anyway, that was the pictures. Nothing really crazy. I just really enjoying this camera and the quality of the lenses. I guess I'm gonna probably need to be shopping for maybe the wide angle and the short telephoto of the 150. So if you're looking for a medium format camera, this is definitely one to consider.
Well, that's the Kowa Six. Just having a ton of fun using this. Like I say, I've wanted one for a long, long time, ever since I got to use one that was my dad's when I was a kid. And so this is one I think I'm going to definitely hang on to and play around with. Like I say, it's one I just kind of wanted. And I don't know why. I've never really pursued buying one. I kind of stumbled across this one, and the price was so good. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, you know. And I love my Rolleiflexes, and you know they're the same format, and basically, you know, unless I buy some more lenses, I'm just using a normal lens. But I don't know. There was just something about finding one of these and getting it that was a lot of fun. Well, if you have any thoughts or questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I always love hearing from you. And as always, thanks for watching. You guys ready to go? You ready to go? Let's go.